What you may see on my channel lately is the big revenue milestones, the working from a coffee shop, the client wins, hanging out in a park at 2 p.m. in the middle of the afternoon, which is all great. It's all great stuff. But there is also a lot that you don't necessarily see. The not so sexy stuff that unfortunately comes with it no matter what. So I want to make this video because I wish someone would have warned me of these before I got started. Not to scare you out of building your own music business, obviously that's not my goal, but more to prepare you for what's coming. I find that if you are more prepared for it, it will be what makes the difference between continuing, keep moving forward, keep pushing, and actually giving up. Now, if you don't know me, I've hit burnout at the end of 2023. I've been in therapy for months. There are many months where I questioned myself if I was gonna keep going or not. Yet I was still able to build a 6-figure music business. So everything that I'm gonna share comes from experience. So let's start with the one that took the longest time to get used to it. And full transparency, I'm still struggling with it. It's an endless struggle. But I used to think that once I made enough money, once I had enough clients, once I had enough proof that what I was doing was worth the money that I'm asking, that all of my imposter syndrome, all of my stress, all of the pressure was gonna go away. Spoiler alert, it does not. No matter what happens, no matter the amount of money you make, the amount of new clients you sign, the amount of new listeners you get, those emotions will never go away. When I was making 2K per month, I felt like a fraud charging for what I was charging. When I crossed 10K, I felt pressure to stay there. And when I finally crossed 20K a month, I was wondering how the heck am I ever gonna stay at this level? Every new level brings a new set of problems, of questions, of doubts. It's just what being self-employed means. So you have to get comfortable with this. And there are a few things that I personally did to help me with this. First of all, as long as you don't give up, that little voice in your head that tells you to give up, that it's never gonna work, that it can't work for you, that you're XYZ, that it's only for other people, that whatever, that voice over time, as you keep proving it wrong, is gonna get quieter and quieter. So it's gonna be easier to deal with, but you're still gonna hear it. Second, I surround myself with other self-employed people, other music creators, other entrepreneurs, business owners, like-minded people, because this way it allows me to have a place to share my emotions, my worries, my doubts, and they almost always have gone through it themselves. And it's just super, super helpful to feel heard, to feel understood. And usually they have great tips as well for me to find a way to make it through. And the third one is journaling. That thing saved my life last year. Every time you have those thoughts, those feelings, those emotions inside, if you keep them inside, in your head, it's the end of the world. You know, it's like, oh my God, it's useless. It's the end of the world. Like it's the end of my career. It's the end of the business. It's never gonna work. But then once you actually take them out of your head into paper and you're actually writing them, you're like, well, that's stupid to think that. It's just never as big of a deal as it feels like it when it's on your mind. And personally, I find that it helps me rationalize my thoughts a lot. Just last night, like yesterday, I felt, I don't know, so much pressure. Like I had this thing in my chest. It just didn't work. I was the whole day in my thoughts. And as soon as I put them down on my iPad, I like to use my iPad to journal, it's like it went away and I finally had a good night last night, whereas the last 4 nights were shitty. And the thing as well that you have to remember is that if it was easy and comfortable, everyone would do it, right? So just be aware of that when you're embarking on this journey, that you are embarking on an emotional roller coaster for probably the rest of your life. And you have to be okay with it. All right, point number 2, I saw this quote recently that said something along the lines of, if you don't want the lifestyle required to get to your goal, then you should stop wanting that goal altogether. Or another one similar, that you either have to raise your sacrifices or reduce your ambitions or your desires. And it's true. Wanting to run your own music business, to be self-employed in the music industry, will require you to do sacrifices. I'll be honest with you, there was a period around 2021, 2022, 2023, where I was walking less. I could spend like 5 days in here without even going out. I was not seeing friends as much. My weekends were planned around the client and content work, not the other way around. I canceled ski trips, vacations, because I wanted to spend time building the business. Now, I want to be clear, nobody forced me to do this. I chose to do that because I knew where I wanted to go and I could see the gap between where I was and where I needed to be. And closing that gap required more of my time than I would have liked at that point, but it was just normal. Most of you want this, the end goal, but you are not willing to make the sacrifices required to get to the goal. You just want the ending. And that's the hard reality about building a music business in your 20s or your 30s. You're not a student with an empty schedule anymore. You have a job, you have a family, you have obligations. And for a while, building that business from the ground up will require you to sacrifice more of that life than what feels comfortable for you because it has to. There is a real season of real focus that comes before you can reap the rewards of a balanced life. I'm not telling you that it will last forever. Absolutely not, it won't. I'm at a place right now where I have a pretty good balance. I exercise daily, I go on walks, I protect my weekends more, but I got here because I was willing to be temporarily uncomfortable to build the right foundations. So you have to go in knowing that this is part of the deal. Point number 3, you have to know that no matter how you're trying to explain it, most of the people around you will not understand what you do, why you do it, why you want the things that you want, why you have such big ambitions. As we mentioned just before, you'll stop going to every parties you invited. You won't take spontaneous trips because of commitments. You will turn down things that people your age consider completely normal because you're building something that requires a level of consistency that most people around you are simply not doing. And when you'll try to explain, you'll get either of those two reactions. Either people will think that you are being way too serious, it's just music, relax, or they'll quietly judge you and wondering if this thing is actually gonna work for you. Neither will feel great, but remember something that my fitness coach told me. He said that you can't expect ordinary people, like people aiming for ordinary, to understand people going for extraordinary. And it's not a dig at them, it's just that we are on different paths. And expecting them to validate it for you is gonna drive you absolutely crazy. Most of the time right now, when I'm with friends and family, I don't talk about what I do. I don't talk about my ambitions. Unless if they ask, and I'll still keep most of the things for myself. Because if I do, and I did in the past, I know their answer. They're judging me. Even if they are supportive, they're still judging. Or, if I tell them, yeah, I'm trying to grow this business to $1 million in revenue, and they're like, Oidi, there's not just money in life. You're gonna kill yourself doing this. And it's like, that's not the point. But anyway, you get it, they don't. It's normal. Now, what helped me deal with that was to find my people. A few mentors who had already built what I'm building. A community of other music creators who are walking the exact same path as me, who wants the same thing as me. Or other entrepreneurs and business owners that have even bigger ambitions than me. When you have those things around you, the lone wolf burden becomes way easier to carry. And remember, the discipline that you have today will be the same things that people will then question and be curious about to wonder how the heck did you manage to do this? But also, just so you know, you don't need their understanding, just do you. Just focus on you. Now, on to one of the biggest, hardest one of them, point number 4. For the longest time, I had one foot on the accelerator and one foot on the brakes. What I mean by that is that I started as a music producer, as a musician. But when I started to get into the money side of it, the business side of it, I saw myself as an artist that was also doing some of the money stuff on the side. And that identity was costing me a lot. When you're an artist that monetize on the side, you're taking artist decisions. You hesitate to hire people. You feel weird talking about money or systems. You tell yourself that the music should speak for itself, and you use it as a reason to avoid the business things that actually make the business work. At 30, it hits harder because at this point, you probably spent over a decade focusing on your art. The idea of calling yourself a CEO or a business owner genuinely feels like you're betraying that artist identity. It's almost like you're admitting that music was not enough. But this is not what it means. Being the CEO of your music business is actually what funds your music and your music career in the first place. It's what gives you the freedom to create without worrying about how you're going to pay this month's rent. The CEO identity doesn't betray it, it just protects it. And it took me years to feel good about this, to genuinely be okay with it. But as soon as I genuinely made that shift and made that change into my brain, and that I decided to treat it as a first thing, almost more important than the music, then everything changed. I made better decisions, I priced myself correctly, I hired a team to help with my lifestyle, and the whole thing started to feel like mine, like it was made for me. So beware, that one is a but you're aware now. And again, very similar to the last couple things, what really helped me get over that one is to get closer to people that were already doing this. So other music creators that were also, building a music business, and taking inspiration from them, learning from them, hearing their thoughts and how they were thinking about it, having conversations with them. All of this helped a ton for me to be okay with that. You just need to be surrounded by those people. If you are looking for those people, by the way, Music Creator is the place you want to be. So I'll leave a link in the description if you want to join us. Building a music business in your 30s or, late 20s means that you will be confronted to a lot of things that have nothing to do with content, marketing, sales, or business. By this point, you're coming at it with a lot of baggage. You have had a whole life before. And I guarantee that starting a business will surface all of the traumas that you have. Fear of success, fear of being seen, feeling guilty about being successful. I honestly never thought when I started that this was going to be a freaking problem for me, but here we are, feeling so guilty if I'm chilling on the couch at 3 p.m. or going to a coffee shop and enjoying and having a walk or, making more money than my parents. I feel or felt, hopefully, but felt, still dealing with that, so guilty about this. This comes because of all the past traumas, all the limiting beliefs, the way you've been educated, the things that you've heard in your life. I had a fear of success that I didn't know was there until I started to hit my biggest income revenue goals, and then immediately found ways to sabotage myself. You would think it's crazy, that it doesn't make sense. Yet it still happened. That sounds wild when you say it out loud, but it is way more common than you would think. And honestly, not a lot of people are talking about it. So I went to therapy. I read books. I talked to mentors about it. I wanted to understand my own patterns so that I could stop them affecting my business. And as I got better with everything, it changed everything from how I price myself, how I show up for my clients, the decisions that I made. What you have to understand is that your business can only grow as far as you. If there is a ceiling as to how much you think you deserve, there will be a ceiling on what your business produces, no matter what content strategies you're trying or marketing hacks that you're trying. You will never outperform the ceiling that you have in your mind. So journal, read books, talk to a therapist if you can, work with a mentor who walked that path and understand that the mindset part of business is even more important than the strategy itself. It's the foundation of it. The music business that you're building is only ever gonna be as strong as the person building it. And that person is worth investing in first. Now again, I'm not sharing those to scare you. I'm sharing them because each of them is manageable when you know it's coming and that you're not facing it alone. And if none of them scared you and you're like, okay, I think I can deal with that, I think I'm ready, then I would love to help you go deeper on that. Music Creator is where I work with music creators personally every single week on exactly this: the strategy, the systems, and the mindset that builds a sustainable music business. If that's what you're looking for, click the link below and apply, and then we'll figure it out together if it's the right fit for you. In the meantime, keep building. Keep building. In the meantime, keep learning, and I'll see you in the next one.